pocket. Launches to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. A.D. Mitchell.
3rd and 10 from the 11. Travis under pressure, trying to escape. Able to escape. Turns the corner. Stays in back.
Gets to the end. Johnny Michelle will send the Dogs home.
Oh, to the 30. 35.
Yeah!
Whitfield to the 50. To the 40. Whitfield to the 30.
Is another first down.
Not dealing with much pressure at all when he does drop back to throw.
The play action. Bennett looks down the middle. McConkey's wide open. Touchdown, Dogs.
Ooh.
What is going on, guys? We are here on an action-packed Tuesday night, closing in. Actually, it's still Tuesday.
It's still Tuesday, but we're closing in on Wednesday, though.
Yeah, we're closing in, but we're here. We're here putting in the work after a long day, but we're here talking college football because you know why?
Yep.
Because we're not casuals. Okay, we're here talking to you guys about the great game we all love. And that's college football.
Absolutely.
We don't have Taylor Swift and the army of their dealing on in the NFL coming into our sport. No. They stay up there and the professionals. Well, no. Stay up in the press box. Press box. Anyway, welcome to another episode. This is episode 36. We have our week 4 recap. We're on week 4?
Yes, we are.
God,
Think about that.
We're already going into week 5. I mean, this is before you know it, playoff will be out. I mean, we're already about to step into October. It's crazy.
I know. I say by the time at least my team plays next, it will be October.
Same. I mean,
hey,
it's like we're already like almost halfway into the year, and we still have like no idea like if who's gonna win what. I mean, there's no team that's like separated themselves at all.
This is the most wide open season.
It's
ever.
a big clump of just messed up good teams.
Yeah.
Messed up good to great teams. Like you could say Georgia hasn't even played their best ball yet because half their team's been hurt. Like they're just getting McConkey back, I think, this weekend.
Yep.
Which would be massive because it's, one of our probably top receivers. But, Georgia's playing half their roster's hurt. So, they're trying to play with what they got. Texas.
And they need those guys back. They really do need those guys back. Though. I watched some of that UAB game, and they kept UAB in that game way too long.
Yeah, especially on defense. The defense.
Yeah.
Michael Williams was out. They're still missing Dawkins. They're missing Javon Bullard was out. So, you're starting a brand new safety instead of Javon Bullard. It's just not the same. They just got back Deshaun Edwards. Thank God we had it back for the South Carolina game because I have no idea. We're already down to the bone on running back. But, then you have Texas, who it's we'll see. I think this next 2 weeks we'll see because, they got that sandwich game against Kansas before Oklahoma. Michigan hasn't played anybody.
Yeah.
And
they don't really play anybody.
They can't cover anyway. So,
yeah.
Ohio State, really good win this weekend.
Absolutely.
I feel like there's still some questions
right
quarterback. Yeah. We're going to get right into that.
Let's just jump right into it.
Yeah. We'll say real quick, we'll go through the rundown. We got Notre Dame, Ohio State. We got Florida State, Clemson to talk about. We got Utah, UCLA, Colorado, Oregon. Ooh. Washington State, Oregon State, Bama, Ole Miss. Plus, we got overreactions and winners and losers of the week. So, we'll hop right into it, as Dylan said. As Ohio State walks into Notre Dame and wins 17-14, a very low-scoring defensive game. It came down to the very last play of the game, literally, as Ohio State scored as the time hit 1 second.
Yep.
But it was just a wild scene of events. Notre Dame had 10 guys on the field for the final play. How does that happen? Tough. I don't know. Out of a play before they were out of a timeout, 10 guys on the field. Funny enough, where they scored there should have been a down lineman right there.
Yep.
So, there was the fourth down. Was it third down or fourth down where Kyle McCord got them down at the 2-yard line on a great pass?
It was fourth down. Yeah, it was fourth down.
I'm going to look here. It was where was it? There it is. Okay. It was 3rd and 19.
Oh, yep, I was wrong.
Completed a pass for 21 yards down to the Notre Dame 1. And then it was incompletion, and then the score.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame called a timeout, 7 seconds left. So all of that, it was a very weird game because Ohio State really couldn't get the run game going. But, Notre Dame felt like they should have won this game, but they let too many chances out, leave. They should have – they had the ball twice, I think, with under 7 minutes to go, and they couldn't do anything with it.
Yes, they did.
Couldn't milk the clock. And there was the big play on their final drive that the incompletion, which stops the clock, and then it gave Ohio State back the ball with a timeout still.
Mm-hmm. So I'll give you a heads up on this. I think this is the most wild statement. With 4 minutes and 12 seconds to go, they had the ball at their own 23rd. They gave it back to Ohio State, and Ohio State still had 2 minutes of football.
You can't give that much
minutes. Yeah, they gave too much time to Ohio State. They, quite frankly, just made bizarre mistakes that I think have more to do with coaching than anything. I mean, you already alluded to it. The 10 men on the field is the most inexcusable thing I've ever heard.
No, it's
in a
just
football
you
game.
can't have it there.
And I think his excuse was even worse, personally. Did you hear his excuse for why? They were scared of getting a penalty. Now, I want you to do the math for me real quick. When the opponent is at the 1 yard line and you get a penalty, it's half the distance to the goal. What is half the distance of 1 yard?
Nowhere, pretty much.
Exactly. There's no reason not to. You can cause a million defensive penties at the 1 yard line.
You're fighting the clock there at that point. Well, you're fighting the clock.
It is beyond ridiculous of Marcus Freeman to say that. Oh my gosh.
They allowed 2 fourth down I think it was at least 1 fourth down conversion. It was a 4th and long, multiple 3rd and longs on that final drive. It's just there was 2 chances Notre Dame had at picking off a ball late in that game, which probably would have sealed it. Just chance after chance. Hartman never really got going. I mean, he only threw for $175. Neither team ran the ball well. They both pretty much ran for about 4.5 yards a carry.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a weird game. I mean, Ohio State 10 of 17 on 3rd down compared to Notre Dame's 5 of 10 really was probably the difference. I mean, Notre Dame controlled the time. Notre Dame had 4 penalties for 50 yards, but again, Notre Dame should have won that game, but then it's you got to tip your hat to Ohio State just bending almost, but just not breaking. And then, Kyle McCord coming up big. That was his first, the first real drive, I think, where he was in command and knew what he was doing, making the good throws. And, kudos to them. Travion Henderson had that really long run, which, again, you could inflate those numbers on the rushing yards because if you take out that long touchdown, they have a lot less yards. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly.
It was 61 yards, so subtract 126 from 61. I mean, that's what you get for reality rushing yards.
I mean, my biggest shock in this is just Notre Dame not playing. They played up to it, and it felt like they got lost in the moment.
A little bit.
Other than that, Ohio State's defense looked fantastic this game.
Yeah.
This is probably the best defensive performance we've seen under Ryan Day as the head coach. I don't know there's any other
I'd say at
specific
least
games I
against
can mention.
a bigger program, like a big time opponent.
Well, an opponent that we know has a good offense, right? You know what I mean? Like, we've seen Sam Hartman and co. already put up 40-plus points on Power 5 teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is a team that you could go into this game saying this team has a great offense. They're going to score points, and you held them to 14 points.
Yeah.
That's a win for your defense. That's an absolute win. That's a win on the coaching side. I do think Notre Dame's defense played great until that last drive where they just fell apart.
Yeah.
And that absolutely felt like coaching to me there. So
But it was just a
it felt
setup of just the offense not being able to do anything. And then you throw your defense right back out on the field. They literally, and then, they've been out there for a long time. And now you're just putting them out in no man's land. And, that offense for Ohio State is as good as anybody's. And if you let them get another chance, they will burn you. And that happened just like that here a couple of days ago.
Well, it was just a couple of those plays, like that 3rd and 19, that
that is unexcusable.
There's got to be better play calling
3rd and 19, and you 3rd and 19, and you let up a ball. Not only get the first down, but you get it within. They catch it inside the 5. You can't have that happen. You can't be playing 3-man deep when I understand you got to guard the end zone, but don't let them get that many yards. You got to make it a realistic, give yourself a chance.
The thing is, they gave Kyle McCord too much time there. They gave Kyle McCord way too much time. You give a quarterback too much time with as good, as good of an offense as Ohio State can be. We haven't always seen it this year, but Ohio State, just because of the system they run, the players they have, has the potential to always be an amazing offense that can score, at will. You cannot give that good of an offense that good of an opportunity.
Yeah.
You give a quarterback who, well, he hasn't, played amazing yet, you give him this all this free time in the pocket to find somebody, and what does he do? He finds somebody. It blows my mind.
Yeah,
but I guess if you're Notre Dame, you just move on.
And honestly, another quiet performance from Marvin Harrison. It was Emeka Egbuka was the guy. 7 receptions, 96 yards. Like, he was the guy. Travion Henderson, he had the 104 yards rushing on 14 carries again, though, if you take out the long run. But it was Egbuka, and that was really it, because there was no turnovers. There was I don't think either team had a turnover.
Nope, it was
a clean fought defensive game, and that's so those are the games you like.
Yeah,
those are the games you like. So, going forward, I think Notre Dame, as far as you're looking at the big picture, I don't think they're out yet, but it doesn't help the fact that now you lose to a team that, even if they lose, but they turn around and win their conference, you're automatically at a default there. You still have Duke, Louisville, who's 4-0, USC. But again, same thing. If you beat USC, okay, but they could win their conference, and again, you're short that. Then Clemson, Wake, and Stanford. There's nothing crazy there. So they got the best they can do there right now. They have to win out, and they got to make it look. They got to start blowing people out at this point. If you're really now it becomes a beauty contest, which is not fair a lot of times, but it's just what it is with the sport. It's all about, it's not winning. It's not like the NFL where a win is a win, and it doesn't matter because, if the playoffs are generated by a computer module, not like by a bunch of people. It's a bunch of people that look at style points and strength of schedule and resumes. It's like all of this, and you're getting interviewed pretty much.
Yeah.
And now you got to make your resume, boost it, look really good. So it starts this weekend at Duke. It's a very good team right there by a really good quarterback and a really good coach. And you got to go to Duke, where we already saw Clemson lose.
Yeah.
You got to have an emphatic win there. And I expect Hartman to bounce back, but can
Me
they win?
too.
It could be a good game. I think Notre Dame's a 5.5 favorite right now. Very good game.
Yeah. I think the only other thing I have to add is I think under the BCS system, this would have been a better loss for Notre Dame.
Because there's more chaos.
Yeah, there's just the BCS system let when it came to calculations, they would calculate a loss like this to be more important than, a win over somebody who may not be as good according to, what a computer says. But, with this new system, it's all about just wins, right?
Yeah.
I don't think a one-loss Notre Dame will get in over, potentially undefeated
not being
Georgia, Ohio State, It's going to kill them. That's all, yeah.
It will continue to hurt them because they are locked up in these TV right deals, and they force themselves into a corner, especially just in the football program aspect, not being in a conference.
Yeah.
So, you can play all the Power 5 teams you want, but I don't care unless you're going undefeated and making it look good. You can't sell yourself short to give yourself any room to fail.
Yeah.
You lose and you're in a tough spot now.
Yeah.
Tough spot.
I mean, right now you lose, and if you're Notre Dame, to me, you're done.
Yeah.
I do not see a single scenario where Notre Dame can get in now that they've lost one game, because there's just no possibility to me where a one-loss conference champ doesn't get in over a one-loss Notre Dame. Even if Notre Dame's loss is more, respectable, like, hypothetical situation, one loss Washington, right? Like, let's say Washington, one loss Washington, the Pac-12 champ.
Yeah, they're going to get in.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially,
that's what I'm saying.
And then if you have like your loss is against the team you lost to, but you beat them, then it erases it in a sense. So
yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move on to our next game, which had Dylan shivering in his boots for about 4 quarters, in a sense.
I don't know about shivering.
You were in a state of deep thinking about why you're in a dogfight with Clemson.
Let me just.
But shout out to Florida State because they covered.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, Florida State covered the spread, and that's the most you can ask. I'm sorry.
The most you can ask.
No, you know what?
I'm just saying what I would have said. They covered. They may not have led. They may not have led until overtime.
But you know what? It doesn't matter who leads the game. It leads to the game. It matters who wins the game. And when you bring in a kicker who has never kicked in a football game before, things happen. Like missing a 29-yard field goal.
Yeah,
and
that was
you could say Florida State
and
got lucky.
Clock management at the end was just
brutal. That was bad. That was horrible. I mean, oh man, I can't believe they didn't even like what? Now I know according to the rules, they would need 2 seconds to spike it, right?
Yeah, and was this at the end too? Because I know in the first half they ran the ball and just didn't do anything after.
Yeah, but to end regulation, they get the ball because Florida State went for it on 4th down, didn't get it. They're at the Clemson 44, 45, that area.
Yeah.
And they get to the FSU 40 on the one play. And then they walk up. They don't run.
They don't do anything.
They start walking with 6 seconds left over to where they're placing the ball. I think they thought the clock stopped. But,
so
the clock only stops until they bring the chains.
Yeah.
So,
as soon as you get set, they're going to get it rolling again.
Yeah, but it's not even as soon as you get set, isn't it? As soon as they move the chains. It's like they place the ball down. Like
they place the ball down. Usually, wait till everyone gets back, and then they start it up again.
I think they don't normally wait till everybody gets back. I'm pretty sure they just normally everybody just gets back.
Well, I think they wait till everyone gets set and then they start it.
Well, because they didn't. They moved the chains. They placed the ball. And Clemson
They might wait. They might
walking.
do it when the chains go.
Because I always thought it was when they moved the chains. They moved the chains. The ref places the ball at the new spot, and then but the team always runs up and they're always there before the ball is ever really placed.
So
Clemson
I think
didn't do that. They walked. They like the quarterback. The line. They started walking over there. You have 6 seconds left. Regulation ends. Clemson won the toss, right? So they elected for Florida State to go first. Florida State scores on two plays. Great touchdown pass to Keon Coleman, who
had himself another big day.
Yeah, he did. Not in the yards department, but
just in the impact department.
Yeah.
There's a lot of just wacky stats, just how Florida State won.
Yeah.
I mean, they were outnumbered on first downs by 11 or by 9.
Yep.
4 of 13 on third downs.
Mm-hmm.
They only had 311 total yards. They got outgained by 128 yards. They
100 and no, I think that's off. I think you're off there. 429 to 311.
Oh, excuse me. It was 118. 118.
Yeah.
I apologize. I tell you, my math's not.
No,
I'm trying to use the brain again. I shut down.
No reason to give Clemson more yards than they had.
Only had 22 rushing yards.
Oh yeah.
Outgained 146 to 22.
Yep.
They only averaged 1.1 yards a carry.
There's one key stat that gave Florida State this win. It is in the turnover department. Florida State did not turn over the ball once.
And the biggest play of the game, the sack fumble recovery, returned for a touchdown because Clemson was driving and they were already up 7, and it looked like was it in the fourth?
Yeah, it was in the fourth. It was
like 7 or 8 minutes left, I think.
Let me just double check this for you.
It was deep into the fourth, I know. Deep enough to make it if they
scored. What if I told you it was in the third?
Oh, geez.
It was in the third quarter.
You're supposed to know this. This is your
1 minute to go. So I will be honest. I was at work.
Oh, Dylan.
While I was driving home,
how
Clemson
can we
miss the field goal?
How can we thrive as a podcast when we're just giving out people false narratives and for false journalism? We can't have that. We can't have that. So third quarter, whatever quarter it was, we'll have to start.
I saw a lot of the game. Big up to my buddy in footwear. Not going to say his name, but thank you for putting on the game on your ESPN app. That was a big help. But
the real ones take the phone out while they're on the floor. And
it was a manager day. You know what I mean? So you got to be.
Listen, if they're not casuals, they will not care.
A real one like me doesn't pay for cable anymore. So you got to find new ways.
Anyway, so they get the fumble, they return it, and that ties the game.
Yep.
Because Clemson was going to go up 14 probably. They were driving. Florida State's defense was reeling, and reeling. Because Clemson played Kate Klubnik looked pretty good yesterday.
Yeah, he had his best game as a starter.
They came out ready to go. Don't disrespect us in our house. You haven't beaten us in 7 straight years.
Yeah.
Don't mess with us. And they played like that.
Yeah.
Just some what are we doing moments as far as the field goal, as far as the time management goes. It was just a lot of just not good. But that one turnover ended up being the big thing because it tied the game. And then the missed chip shot was just after they hyped him up too. That's a great. I mean, just you can't draw an announcer jinx up better than that.
They did that on purpose. I
McElroy
swear.
goes, this will be a Hollywood ending.
Like, oh yeah, and then, but
McDonough-
sadly the writers are on strike. That was a golden line.
That's just McDonough being McDonough. I mean, come on,
That was amazing.
that's why he's one of the goats.
It reminded me just a couple of days later. Same thing with the Bucks Eagles game, saying the Buccaneers haven't thrown an interception in however long it was, and then Baker Mayfield immediately throws an interception. It feels like they planned
the
it.
Bucks not to play like a JV high school team yesterday, and they did.
Oh, they didn't play it that bad. They didn't play like Denver.
Well, when you're playing against the Eagles defense, and you need them not to do well in order to win, and then they do well and you lose.
That's tough, but that's what it feels like to be 0-3 in fantasy.
Are you 0-3?
1-2, baby. We won.
Me and somebody else are playing in the toilet bowl this weekend. 0-3's going at it. So
who? I'm not gonna say who, but is like, I think I'm gonna lose this week.
I'm favored to win right now
because I'm favored to lose, and I'm like, oh man, my team sucks, right? Like I'm like, man, I got injuries, and
well, I'm just kind of hanging. I'm here to have fun. If we go on a run, we go on a run.
All I gotta say is that next time the Titans should get Derrick Henry the ball.
Yeah, I mean, 0.2 points isn't going to really cut it in most leagues, but
we escaped this week with a win purely based on luck.
Kirk Cousins and Christian McCaffrey can't be carrying my team, and they are right now. DK Metcalf's doing a good job too, but you got Darren Waller has a stick up his ass because he's got a quarterback I don't even know what to say. Daniel Jones is so awful at his job.
He's not very good.
He's not good.
Not very good.
Sutton had a touchdown in the 50-point loss to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
We're running way off topic. But,
sorry. Yeah, no, it's just, you know how life is sometimes.
Yeah, life is.
Things happen and you need to bring them up. Like,
right.
God bless to Justin Herbert for throwing for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. That was killer for me.
Yeah. Should have had a pick, but Anyway, Florida State's remaining schedule. They got Virginia Tech this week.
Nope.
Next week.
Yep. Bye week this week.
Bye week. I hate how they don't show the bye weeks on there.
Yeah, I know. That's why I go through ESPN.
Yep, I'm on ESPN.
No, I mean like the week by week, not
yeah. So they got Virginia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
They got Syracuse. Syracuse 4-0. Watch out for the Orange. They got Clemson this week at home. The Carrier Dome curse in full swing. Then they got the Duke game, Wake Forest at Pitt. Then it's the big Miami game. And then you got Florida down there sitting. All of a sudden, Florida's ranked.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows how the Gators finish out the year.
Yeah.
But that Miami game is Miami and Duke game. Circle your calendars because those are going to be the remaining big tests. And we'll see if Florida State, because there's people out there, the AP poll doesn't like them. Mm-hmm. There's people that think Florida State's frauds.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to prove them. Jordan Travis has got to play better. Mm-hmm. I think, they were able to connect on the deep ball, which was good to see. But they need to establish. I feel like they haven't really got a running game going against Power 5 teams.
No, the only game they had a decent running attack against was LSU, but they got that more on just running it in the fourth quarter when LSU was already down.
Yeah, no, when you're taking out killing the clock.
Yeah,
they haven't Benson hasn't really got going at all, and it's kind of like some other teams out there running game here that we're so used to seeing hasn't got going yet.
Yeah.
So if that's not going to be the case, George Travis has got to play a lot better than he did yesterday, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, no, he played a lot better compared to the Boston College game. But, just making an estimate right now, I would guess he probably sits against Virginia Tech just because he has the injury. They want to keep him as healthy as possible, especially when they play Duke.
I doubt. Maybe if they build a lead, I doubt he's not going to not play unless
against Virginia Tech.
You don't want to ever risk anything.
No, I think they trust the backup.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see because they get the bye week, so
it's a 3:30.
You could tell he was lingering though.
Yeah. No, I would imagine if there's any game, I would think you'd sit him for this game so that he could be healthy. You just based on, Virginia Tech's play and the backup Tate Rodemaker played great last year when he had to come in against
That was the
Louisville.
Louisville game.
Yeah.
Shout out Rodemaker.
Yeah,
Johnny
great kid. Follows me on Instagram. Great kid.
Does he really?
Yeah, he does, because I followed him the second he committed.
Oh, that's funny.
He followed me back. He went to Sarasota one time. I said, "Yo, you're in Sarasota, man." He liked my comment. I was like, "Let's go." But hey, maybe he'll listen one day. But
Get him subscribed.
Oh yeah.
Come on, Dylan. This is the inside stuff we need. Do you want to get that interview with Norvell or what?
Oh yeah.
Are we getting that? We need the inside scoop. Come on, Dylan. Get on that.
But just finishing up our conversation on these guys, I do think Florida State's victory was impressive, only because they covered the spread. They went to Clemson, first ACC team since, correct me if I'm wrong, 2016 to win at Little Death Valley. I would say this is, to me personally, as a Florida State fan, this win meant a lot to proving if this team is serious. I think, for a lot of the game, they didn't look fantastic. When it mattered, they did. They stepped up. They, overtime, they immediately went out and scored. You know what I mean? They didn't play games. They didn't mess around, and the defense stepped up there. You could say that Clemson had the worst play you could imagine on 3rd and 1, but, that's not Florida State's fault. They ran – their defense played it perfectly.
Yep.
That's why you don't let your quarterback, don't give him the option to throw the ball on 3rd and 1.
There you go.
Juan Soto just hit it. It's the home run.
For the irrelevant Padres. Anyway, we're going to be moving on to Utah versus UCLA. I was looking at Bruins, and I had to remember. Even though it says it right there. 14-7 was the final in Salt Lake City, where the Utes got another win. Where there was a lot of speculation that Cam Rising was going to be back for this game, and then all of a sudden he wasn't. He wasn't cleared yet, and you saw that in the Vegas where they were open to they were 6.5 favorites all week, and then it said he wasn't playing, dropped all the way down to 3.
Yep.
This was, I think there was 2 trains of thought. Was Utah hasn't lost since 2020 at home. This is now a 17-game winning streak they're riding at home. Or UCLA, who's been really good on defense this year, and Dante Moore, who's one of the one of these breakout freshman quarterbacks, and this was going to be a big breakout game for him against a solid Utes defense, and it just became a slugfest. First play from the game was a pick 6.
I saw that.
And
I saw that.
And then all of a sudden it just became a grudge match where neither team was doing anything on offense. Utah had 7 sacks. UCLA had 4. Dante Moore, because we combine sacks in college football, 10 carries for negative 51 yards. UCLA only ran the ball, because if you're counting sacks, they only ran the ball for 9 yards. On 32 carries, they averaged 0.3 yards a carry. Utah, no better, 2.1 yards a carry on 48 attempts for 102 yards. Utah went up 14-0. UCLA got a late score, but then got the ball back, and then immediately got sacked twice.
Yeah.
It was just one of those just defensive grudge matches, kind of like the Notre Dame Ohio State game, where it's just you thought maybe a fireworks some. And it just ended up being a stalemate between two just heavyweights just kind of going at each other. I mean, first downs were even. Neither team did well on 3rd down. Utah was 6 of 17, UCLA 3 of 17. Not good. Total yards was 243 to 219. Just one of those games. I mean, Utah only ran through for 117 yards on 17 attempts. There was only 9 completions, and they won. So, it was just one of those games. It was back and forth between that and like the Colorado Oregon game
Mm-hmm.
that was going on, and but
Yeah.
as soon as
So
that game went out, it
yeah.
was.
This is gonna sound crazy. I was not watching this game at all. I saw the first play of the game and was like, yeah, no. And I decided to watch Rice versus USF.
Oh, come on! You
Which
can't
actually
do that.
was a good game. That was a good game.
No, come on. We're not playing. This isn't a Mickey Mouse show. Okay,
It was a great game. I got to watch JT
USF.
Daniels. JT Daniels played.
JT Daniels is going to spin another wheel and figure out what college he's playing at next year.
He will, because he got hurt in the game and did not return.
Oh, gosh.
So prepare for when he's playing at North Dakota State next year.
North Dakota State.
Well, he's going to play every school eventually. But yeah, no, absolutely. But to be honest, I didn't really watch much of this game, so I can't comment too much on it. I saw the pick 6 to start the game, and I was like, turn this off. I'm not watching this. I'm not watching.
But listen, Oregon, Utah 4-0 now.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a Utes fan, this is big because you're 4-0.
Yep.
Your starting quarterback hasn't played all year, and you've already beaten Baylor. You went to Baylor and won. You had Florida come to town. You beat them.
Yep.
You beat a great UCLA team who crushed you last year.
Yep.
You held them to 7 points. So, listen, they're right there. They got a huge game that starts a brutal stretch for the Utes. They got at Oregon State, Cal, USC, Oregon, Arizona State, Washington, Arizona, then Colorado.
Yep.
A brutal backstretch. But listen, it's a big game in Corvallis Friday, which will kind of to tell where these two teams are as far as you're looking ahead. But
yeah,
both teams are UCLA. I think still going to be in the thick of it. This Pac-12 race is going to be one that's going to maybe come down to the last weekend. Like every team is so matched evenly that you just don't know. There's not a clear, concise team.
Yeah.
That has pulled ahead yet.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
Awesome. All right, we'll move on to another. We'll just move on right into the Oregon curb stomps Colorado 42-6. Game was never close. As we both said, Colorado just was going to meet their match, and it was in Eugene.
Yep.
Boy, oh boy, it was ugly, and it was ugly fast. Blink of an eye, I think it was 20-1-0. And
yeah, I'll tell you right now, they were up 35-0
at half.
Right before half, they went up 35-0.
Here's Oregon's first. Here's their first half drives. Touchdown, 10 plays. Touchdown, 11 plays. Touchdown, 13 plays. They threw the pick. Touchdown, 5 plays. Touchdown, 6 plays. Here's Colorado's. Punt, 3 plays, -1 yards. Punt, 6 plays. Punt, 3 plays, -13 yards. Punt, 6 plays, 6 yards. Punt, 5 plays, 4 yards. Punt, or 1 end of the half. Then it was punt, fumble, punt, and then they scored. And then they had their extra point blocked, and then it was the end of the game. There was a stat. Oregon had more points in the first half than Colorado did first downs. Or something. No, it wasn't even that. It was like some wild stat like that.
They had more points than yards?
No, they had more.
Because that might be true.
Yeah, that was it. And
I think Colorado had 32 yards at halftime.
Yeah.
Like total yards, they had 32. That might also have to do with how many times Shader got sacked, which I think is the biggest point I want to say about this game, just for Colorado's season and outlook. Their offensive line is probably the worst in the country.
Well, that and their defensive line.
Yeah.
The line, when we said,
they have no big guys on that team.
And that's why I said this team's going to get run over. And they did. They gave up shocker, 240 yards on the ground, and
Yep.
they only ran for 40 yards. They
Mhm.
averaged a buck's 1.6. They gave up almost 7 yards a carry
Yeah.
on 38 attempts. They also had 12 penalties for 106 yards, which ain't gonna help you out your cause.
hmm
They only averaged 4.8 yards per pass, 5 of 14 on third down. They only had 13 first downs. It was just Oregon.
It was not their day. It
Oregon,
was not
30
their
first
day.
downs, 522 yards of total offense, 282 yards for
Mhm.
Bo Nix, 240 yards rushing. 35 minutes of time of possession. Just talk about a utter just domination. And
Mhm.
then, not to mention all the off the field antics, the pregame speech, which was awesome
Yeah.
by Dan Lynn. Awesome. And then you see today, like the mini movie
Yeah. I see.
that
Yeah.
Colorado, like Shiloh Sanders is talking crap,
Mhm.
and they're running their feet and stepping all over the O at midfield.
Yeah.
Like, come on, you had this coming to yourself, and now you see you got crushed. You messed with the bull and you got the horns.
So, just looking ahead for Colorado, they do play USC this weekend. It's looking like Shiloh Sanders might not play because of an injury.
An
Again,
injury.
Um,
Yeah. Okay.
he was peeing blood on the plane after, according to his father.
It's because his father was beating the hell out of him for saying stupid shit like he did.
According to Shiloh, I got to go to the ER and get that checked out.
Oh yeah, right. Come on. Peeing blood. That's a good one.
But I got to be honest, if he doesn't play, that does not help Colorado's chances,
I'd
because
say
as far as we know, that would probably push Cormani McLean up into the rotation.
is he even?
And-
He's not even playing.
Exactly.
He's not even playing. Oh, he did play actually. Check that. He had 2 tackles. But like you're gonna put stress now on Cooper.
Mhm.
You're gonna put stress now on McLean. You're already down Hunter. You're gonna be down Sanders. Like you're in a tough spot already, and now you're just making matters worse.
Now, what if I told you right now, just looking at it, USC is a bigger favorite against Colorado than Oregon was?
What if I told you now that neither defense is going to stop each other, and that there's going to be the final score of 250 to 200 after this?
Now, originally, when we were talking about it last week, and you said you think Colorado's going to win, I thought maybe you had a point. But seeing how bad Colorado's offensive line is, I sincerely wonder if they actually can.
So
do that.
2 things.
Mhm.
Colorado, could they go into like this wounded animal mode
Mhm.
where backs against the wall, you'll do anything to survive?
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to fight. And I watched USC play this past Saturday against Arizona State. In Arizona, they were 34-point favorites.
Yep.
And that was a 7-point game in the fourth quarter.
Mhm.
Late in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
I watched Arizona. I watched tackling as if I've never seen someone tackle before from that USC defense again. They got after the quarterback some, which I think they'll be able to do again.
Yeah.
Like Bear Alexander is going to have a nice day, I bet you. He had a sack there or 2. But the secondary stinks still.
Yeah.
And the defense is not good. Like USC's defense stinks.
Mhm.
Colorado's defense stinks. I think Shedeur Sanders is still going to be fine. Like they got everybody on offense except for Hunter.
Yeah.
They still can't run the ball, so it's going to be a quarterback clash. I'm telling you, this is going to be that will be a high scoring game. And if it's USC wins by 30, I bet you they still give up 40 points. They might give up 40 points. USC might win 75 to like 40.
But the thing is, when we were first talking about it, I immediately thought, maybe this could be a close game, but I just really don't see Colorado's offense keeping up with USC's.
Well, yeah. So like, I know I was thinking about it, and I still think they're going to contend. It's a 10 a.m. kick.
Yeah.
Mountain time. This is outstanding. What a move by Dion to sign off and agree on this. 10 a.m. Get the breakfast bar open in Boulder.
Yeah.
Okay? Get a couple joints, smoke a little, get the vibes high, and get going because there it's going to be. What a start, first of all. That.
Yeah.
Second of all, it's just, I mean, this is no surprise. I mean, Colorado, unless they can figure out how to run the ball and keep their defense on the sidelines for a minimum of like a minute, the offense has got to play much better if they want to even have a shot against USC.
Yeah.
They've got to be able to score early. I think that's the big thing. You've got to be able to punch USC in the mouth first. And if you can't, you're going to be playing from behind like every other team does with USC, and then you're not going to be doing anything.
And I also want to add, Colorado has actually never beaten USC before. I'm looking at it right now. They have lost 16 straight times.
Really?
Which is wild.
They are one of the top teams in the country still, though, at picking people off, which they're going to have to do. Because if they
want to have a chance.
If they want to have a shot, they're going to have to start forcing. They got to force probably 2 to 3 turnovers.
Yeah.
I'd say. So, but Oregon. Circle your calendars, October 14th for potential game of the year. Washington and Oregon. Oh my God. Just get ready. Get your popcorn ready. Don't care about what other team's on. You're watching that.
Yeah.
Also, great color game. Getting ready for that one.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. All right. We're going to move on to Bama rolls Ole Miss. Alabama 24, Ole Miss 10. Tale of two halves. Boy, was it sloppy early in that game.
Yeah.
Oh, my. I mean, I could go run through. I mean, Ole Miss they scored first. They looked like they were kind of in control early. And then, they just stuttered on defense or on offense. They couldn't do anything. There was a horrible pick, again, by Jalen Miller, who stares down a receiver in the end zone. And he got picked off. Shocker. And then, there was the pick. It was a blocked. Was it a blocked kick? Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
I believe it was a blocked punt by. Hold on. 14. No, it was the 8 plays. Oh, here it is. So they had a punt. It was blocked, recovered, and went out of bounds at the Ole Miss 1. Alabama has the ball at the 1-yard line, okay? And they're down 7-6 at this point. Or 7-3 at this point. First down and goal. Bad snap, goes over the head of Jalen Milroe. And then they ended up having to kick a field goal. A 40-yard field goal. It was 4 plays, negative 21 yards. They had to kick a 40-yarder after they started the drive of the 1. Just unexplainable stuff. Like, I couldn't even imagine what Saban was thinking about in his head there.
I do think one of the big points in this game, though, is that more than anything to me, Lane Kiffin has got to stop making Nick Saban this to him. You know what I mean? Is that whenever you think about this game, for some reason, Lane Kiffin, I think it rubs off on his team too, is that we got to beat this guy. These guys are like the Goliath. We're David, they're Goliath, right? They got to stop that.
Yeah.
They got to just, because they get way too much in their head in this game, and you can see it on the field. You can see them pulling out plays where you're like, why would you do that?
No. Yeah, it was almost like he doesn't care. Like, he was like, oh, well, we credit to Alabama, they outplayed us again. That's what he said, kind of like, in summary, like we gave it our best shot, but credit to Bama for hanging around and beating us. It's like
you're winning
even
at halftime, right?
Like, you missed a field goal at the end of half, and then you come out, you give up a field goal, you throw a pick, you give up a touchdown, you hit a field goal, give up another touchdown, punt, turnover on downs, and then that was it. Like, what? Bama came back out in the second half, and Milroe played a lot better. They connected on a deep ball that was a great throw.
Yeah.
Great throw and catch. Bama's offense has always been the issue. I think this year. Their defense is very good.
It's good.
It's
Yeah, they got a good defense.
I think we kind of went overboard a little bit. At least I know. I think I did. Well, after watching that Texas game, they were getting shredded
Yeah.
on the deep end, and the secondaries were not holding up. But the defense hasn't played bad really at all year. But it's just been the offense has been so awful that they put pressure on the defense to hold up, and as soon as the defense cracks, it's done. And that's what ended up happening against Texas, and it almost happened against USF. But they held their own. Ole Miss, I just don't know. I mean, I just don't know. They 3 of 14 on third down. They only rushed for 56 yards. Just kind of gross.
Yeah.
Credit to Bama for winning a big conference win. A lot of people thought that Ole Miss was going to win. This was the year that Kiffin was going to win.
I mean, we talked about it.
We said if there's a year for Kiffin to do it, I had Ole Miss in this game. I picked them. I betted on them, and I thought they were going to win or cover at least, and they didn't even cover. Just it's like, come on. And then,
heartbreaking, personally. Heartbreaking.
It's just like, we talked about this. Like, it was, why can't he win against him? Like, this is, you have a much better team, or at least quarterback, I think. You have a better running back. You have a better receiver than any of Bama's top receivers. Like, what goes wrong? Again, they just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other words to say it, but yeah, I absolutely agree with you.
1 second here. We're going to move on now to Washington State winning the Pac-2 championship game against Oregon State. Washington State 38, Oregon State 35. A score a little deceiving because it was 10-point lead for the Cougars late, and then Oregon State scored a late tutty. I think myself, I thought Oregon State was going to come in, kind of play, defense, shut down Cam Ward and that offense, and be able to just run the ball.
Yeah.
As they do so well every week. And they fell behind early, and then they were playing catch-up. And I don't think that's not Oregon State's game.
Yeah.
And kudos to Cam Ward. Cam Ward's first half stats were just crazy. Crazy first half. I mean, in total, they 528 yards, 422 in the air.
Yeah.
Averaged 12 yards a pass.
That's pretty good.
Oregon State still ran the ball for 242 yards, by the way. So, but it was the fact that Washington State got out to a big lead early.
Yeah.
That Oregon State had to play catch up, and like I just said, that's not their MO. They want to run the ball, control the clock, get down the field, score. And they cut it to close, and then they just weren't able to get tie and get over the hump there. But listen, kudos to the Washington State Cougars, who are 4-0, and I think this is a team that can stir some trouble up in that Pac-12.
Yeah, I know. I absolutely agree with you. I think Washington State took personally what was said on game day too. I don't know if you heard the comment by Lee Corso, the Nobody Wants You Bowl.
Oh yeah, that was who said it was like. Somebody's like, you better watch out who you are. These old guys better watch out because these coaches are keeping track now.
They're
for blood.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I do think to a degree for Oregon State, it probably felt a little personal because you know what I mean? Their rivals going to the Big Ten and they're going nowhere. So when you would
say for both teams.
Yeah, you could say that for both teams, but I think Washington State took it a little personal, as you could tell from their head coach saying all that person. I think Oregon State was like, who cares?
Well, he said after the game, I think when Wisconsin came up there and they lost,
Yeah.
There's like saying, like this team deserves to be in a Power 5 conference. Like these guys work their butts off. Like this team's a good team. Like somebody needs to give us a shot because we're not gonna, not gonna let you down, like that whole spiel.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to think like these two teams don't have a conference. They're homeless after this year right now.
Yeah. No, yeah.
There
And
has go and finish.
these are Mountain West teams in a couple months.
Yeah.
Think about like that's so weird. Is they're gonna go all of a sudden from Power 5 teams that are regular conversations, teams that have both played in the Rose Bowl, that have, consistently been ranked or around ranked since at least I've been, around, right?
Yeah.
There's these programs have history, and all of a sudden we're going to lose that history. And it's crazy. I think it absolutely is absurd to me, all this, realignment. I should be in charge of realignment. That's all I'm saying.
Well, let's not hand the keys over to you.
Six conferences, Power 6. We'll get it done.
There. Okay. And again, this is why you're not in charge.
Let me
Anyway.
All right. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because they're going to go from playing like Washington, Oregon, Utah every week to Fresno State being their next biggest team.
Yeah, they're going to go to
Nevada, Wyoming. They should just play independent, honestly, and just.
That's what I thought too, and just run
especially now with the 12-team playoff coming in.
Run a Big 12 schedule. You play Big 12 teams most of the year, but
run a Pac-12 schedule.
That's what I mean though, is that you play a lot of the Big 12 teams.
Yeah,
that's where most of the. But I really hope Oregon State and Oregon continue to play every year. Thanksgiving, same with Washington State. Just being honest, from the way things have happened, it doesn't look like that will happen. But
I think they will, because both sides have said like they're fine, like keeping this game going. And you don't want to kill rivalry week over. Like these are some of the two of the biggest rivals on the West Coast.
Yeah,
like you don't want to. The Apple Cup and the Civil War are two of the bigger known rivals in rivalry games out there, and to break it up over just money and conferences is not smart at all. And you're seeing that. And why be stubborn with it? Like what Oklahoma and Oklahoma State are doing. Like,
yeah.
Why would you be stubborn about it? Like, just who cares? Excuse me. But yeah, Washington and Oregon State, I think both teams, I don't think they're capable of winning the Pac.
Yeah.
I think the Pac is just too deep for them to really win it. But they are certainly teams that can give it their best shot and stir up some stuff. I think there's some upsets in the making in the next couple of weeks. All right. Let's move on to Overreaction or No. Shout out we didn't talk about it tonight. LSU or LSU Arkansas. That was a decent game. Really didn't watch it all. I saw a quick highlight of it. But Arkansas played well. KJ Jefferson played really well. The big story, they were in the red zone 3 times, and instead of touchdowns, they settled for 3 field goals. And they lost by 3. So put that in consideration for you. Every time LSU, whose secondary is still a liability, every time they were up, they just couldn't keep Arkansas away. And Arkansas kept coming back. So kudos to them. Tough place to play. Death Valley at night is never a spot you want to be in as a visiting team. And listen, they held their own. So
you got to respect them for that.
You do. All right. So we're going to play a game called Overreaction or No, as we always do on Recap Tuesday.
Yep.
And it's more to see how silly Dylan's takes are here.
Okay.
Anyway, Penn State, Dylan, is the best team in the Big Ten.
Overreaction.
Okay.
Absolute overreaction. I mean, we got to see more from Penn State. I mean, I do think Michigan's overrated right now.
Yeah. Well, they go to Nebraska this weekend.
Oh, big game. Yeah. But, Ohio State, out of the 3 Big Ten teams we actually, are talking about in big picture football, Ohio State has the most impressive win, sorry. And Quite frankly, I think the game against Iowa was impressive, but we could roll back the tape. I did say on Thursday, Penn State's going to blow out Iowa.
You did.
Because I think Penn State's good, but they haven't played anybody. They need to play. Once they play a team that's on a similar level to them, once they play Michigan, and even if they lose to Michigan, but they keep it close, I might start the conversation that maybe they are better.
Well, don't hold your breath. They got Northwestern and UMass coming up.
Exactly.
So. But then they go to Ohio State, Indiana, Maryland, who's 4-0, Michigan, Rutgers.
That Maryland game is important.
That's a sneaky one right there.
Yeah, because Talia Tagovailoa actually looks really good. I saw something.
He's always been solid.
Yeah,
but he's never been able to get over the hump or something, or get the big win.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he can do it.
I was impressed by him when I watched him against Michigan State. Granted, it's Michigan State, so
yeah,
whatever. But he looked good. He looked impressive.
I think it's not an overreaction. I think this team's really good. They got the best quarterback in the conference.
Yeah.
They have the best defense in the conference, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
They're running backs who haven't got going, it feels like, at all. Between the two of them, are, I think, up there.
Mm-hmm.
They are just if there was a year for them to do it, it's this year.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, Penn State is legit.
I agree.
We both saw blowout, but did we see 31-0 blowout?
Yeah, I mean, look,
they held Iowa to 76 yards. Iowa had 360 plus yards of punt yards.
Good punter. Actually, no, legitimately, that kid's a good punter. He's going to be playing in the NFL.
I mean, they held Iowa to 4 first downs, 1 of 9 on third down, 56 yards passing on 16 attempts. They only rushed the ball for 20 yards.
I do wonder
how
much more can Iowa do with this?
Well, they were down a bunch of guys on offense, but still, yeah.
Okay.
Race to 325 for Brian Ferentz. Here's a good stat for you. Well, Iowa did turn the ball over 4 times too. So, 45 minutes to 14 in time of possession. How's that sound for you? That's bad. That's really bad. Really, really bad. All right. So, Penn State's best team in the Big Ten, and you're just wrong. So, anyway.
Okay, maybe. I just want to see more before I make that, assumption.
All right, so we kind of talked about this a couple minutes ago, but the Washington-Oregon game, October 14th, is going to be the game of the year.
Not an overreaction.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah, I think this could absolutely – it's in Washington, correct?
Yeah.
Yep. I think this game is going to be spectacular.
It was great last year, and I don't see it being any different this year.
And I think playing at Washington will help the game be more interesting too, because I do think Autzen Stadium is a lot harder to play in than Husky Stadium. Not saying Husky Stadium isn't a tough environment, but normally offenses really struggle at Autzen.
Yeah. So
I think you're going to see two teams that are going to look really two offenses that are going to look really good against each other, especially since I just tried to I didn't believe in it for sure last week, but I'm leaning more towards Michael Penix is special.
I told you this. I tell you, nobody listens to me.
I know, but
Michael Penix, best quarterback in the country. You could make an argument Washington's the best team in the country right now. They are buzzsawing everybody they play, and they don't leave any sort of doubt about it. They just run right through. They were up. They put, I think, 40 points up on Cal in the first half. What?
I believe so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just out of nowhere. They were, I think they scored 30 points in the first quarter.
Yeah.
So, Michael Penix is on a different level.
They scored 24 points in the first quarter, yeah.
The defense is, I think, pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Oregon is right up there too. I mean, Oregon's came in averaging 58 points a game. That probably didn't
Yeah.
change it.
No, I doubt it changed.
Washington's probably right up there.
Uh-huh.
These are two of the top Heisman candidates.
Yep.
It will be a game of the year for sure.
Mhm.
FSU is a lock to the playoff after the win.
Overreaction.
Okay.
I know it's hard saying this as a Florida State fan, but I think everything hinges on that Miami game, personally.
Okay.
Because I think if they beat Miami, then yes. Because I think even if they lose at Florida, but they rebound and win the ACC championship, 13-1, or I guess what would it be? Yeah, 13-1 or 12-1, whatever. One loss conference champ Florida State, whose one loss is an ranked SEC team at whatever. I think they have a good shot, but if they lose to Miami, I think it's over for them.
What if they lose to Miami, turn around, beat them again in the ACC title game?
I think then you can have a re-evaluation of that conversation. But
are you at all worried about North Carolina? Just kind of hanging out. Nobody's talking about them. And North Carolina's 4-0. Taking care of business.
I'm not as worried, only because Drake May hasn't looked as good.
Well, his defense looks solid. Maybe they haven't needed. They haven't needed.
Yeah, no, maybe but I want to see them play Duke first.
He threw a touchdown left-handed. Yeah,
that's impressive. That's impressive, but that's just more impressive in a personal statement, not as like a
Well, they were trailing at Pitt. They were trailing in that game. They came back and just.
But that's
41.
It's not impressive to trail at Pitt.
Listen, Acrisure Stadium. Don't disrespect.
I thought it was Heinz Field.
Listen, we all know it should be, but it's not. So we got to deal with it. Got to deal with it. Okay. Don't need to add salt to the wound.
You know what? I'm sorry. I should not have said that.
That was uncalled for. Uncalled for.
But I don't think they're a lock yet. I think they win out. They're a lock, obviously. But
of course.
Right now, I need to see the Miami game first.
All right. Are you at all worried about Duke?
No, because it's at Florida State, so it's going to be very loud and very Garnet.
Oh yeah.
My only thing is if Miami's ranked, Miami fans, even though it seems like there's not a lot, they always seem to show up, and they can play at Doak Campbell Stadium. You know what I mean? That's a rivalry game. They'll play up to it.
Yeah.
Even if I think Florida State's a better team, Miami, it will be kind of like that game in 2021. I don't know if you watched that one.
Maybe.
It was at Doak Campbell Stadium, and it came down to Jordan Travis converting on 4th and 14.
14.
4th and 14, they converted, scored a touchdown, and then won because Miami tried to spike the ball with 1 second left.
Oh, retards.
Yep. Yeah. No, yeah. And then Miami fans try to argue, they're like, what? Why can't he do that?
That's like a Dabo Sweeney move right there.
And then the refs had to come out and be like, there has to be 1 second on the clock for you to run a play.
Oh.
Therefore, Miami cannot run a play. Game is over. And it was like, oh my God. But, yeah. That's the only game I'm worried right now.
There is still no clear favorite in the SEC West.
Not an overreaction.
I agree. I agree to, LSU looks good on offense. Their defense still lacks depth.
Yep.
And anything on the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Texas A&M just had Connor Wegman go down. Max Johnson stepped in and played really well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I don't think you hear many people talk about the game, because it's if they lost, it's okay. But they won and nobody's talking about it because it's they probably just assumed Connor Wegman would still play.
Yeah.
He was out. Max Johnson came in, scored 2 touchdowns. There's Arkansas still there. I still think they'll compete.
Mm-hmm.
Mississippi State's not good. Ole Miss is still hanging around. Bama, don't count out poor old Bama.
Yeah,
they're still hanging out.
People are already forgetting Texas is not an SEC team yet. They do not have a loss in conference play, and that's all it really matters, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Bama could go out and lose to, I don't know who their last cupcake is, but they could lose to them.
Chattanooga, I think, is.
Yeah, they could lose to Chattanooga, but nobody cares. If they win the SEC West, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, well.
Yeah.
But, if I had to place a favorite, I'd probably still go with LSU. Just because I think they're the most – it's weird to say complete team, but I think they're the team where they have the ability to be the most complete. They have weapons on defense. They have dudes on offense who can score the ball.
I think if you have a quarterback and offense that's good enough to outscore Bama, you're going to win.
Yeah.
That's why I think LSU is going to beat Alabama. I think Texas A&M will beat Bama. Tennessee.
I think A&M it matters. I think A&M it really does matter if
but that's at A&M, and I think that's going to be
A&M's going to win. They're going to be so loud, dude. That's going to be annoying. You're going to have to hear for a week A&M fans talking about they're the best team in the country.
Oh yeah. I think Bama beats Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be an interesting game just because we still don't know a lot about Tennessee. They have South Carolina this weekend.
Yep.
And I don't even know how. I wouldn't even know where to go with that if you're talking about that game right now.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Ryan Day is the biggest crybaby in college football.
Yes. I think he just recently passed Jim Harbaugh as like the guy every college football fan goes, man, that guy is so lame. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
For a long time, you talk about Jim Harbaugh and people go, what a whiner. What a guy who complains about everything. I think Ryan Day just learned a way to pass him. And I've never seen somebody call out an 86-year-old man for comments he made on TV who, it's just like, oh my God. Yeah, I know. I absolutely agree. I think there's a lot of dislike for Ryan Day outside of Ohio State, more than like any other coach in the sport.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about it, but like the animosity towards him has gotten like strong. Like people do not like this guy.
I can see where he's coming from, where it's like people, Lou Holtz says they're not physical enough.
Yeah.
Because if you look, I mean, they haven't played well ever again. They haven't played well against Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
The Georgia game, even when they led, they still gave a they let a crap ton of yards on the ground.
Yeah.
They, but like those are the biggest games that he has not won.
Yeah, and I think that's the big critique of Ryan Day right now is that
he
can't win big games. He has 2 losses, or what's his record in the playoff? 1 win and 2 losses, 3 losses.
Beat Clemson, lost to Clemson, lost to Georgia,
and they lost to Alabama.
Alabama. So he's 1-3 as a coach.
Yeah, 1-3 in the playoff.
To say it's again, it was just silly. Like, I mean, I'm not like someone that's gonna be like just weird. Like, it was just like, seriously, dude, you're really gonna be going after an 86-year-old guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, shut up. Like, it's us against it's always been Ohio against the world. Shut up. You get 5 stars coming out of your wazoo, left and right. Shut up. You're the one that has born on third base. You haven't done anything. You've been given every resource unimaginable. I made up a word there. You got track stars and NFL wide receivers playing on your field every day.
Yep.
You have great quarterback play. You have running backs who are awesome. The defense is solid enough, but you continue to not show up in the games that matter the most. You know who doesn't get? You know why you get paid what you do, Ryan? It's because you're supposed to beat Michigan. You're supposed to win Big Ten titles. You're supposed to win national titles, not beat Indiana and Maryland. Okay? So shut up. Okay? It's Ohio against the world.
Yeah.
Just stop. Okay? No. You can tell your boys whatever you want until they win a big game. And Notre Dame was a big game. It was a great win. But shut up. Just shut up. Take your win and shut up, okay? Nobody wants to hear you complain. What are you going to go beat up Lou Holtz? Yeah, because that looks real good on your resume. Shut up. Stupid. Anyway.
You know what's even crazier?
What?
Oh my gosh. The Reese Davis recently commented he's very concerned for Ryan Day after his comments. You think he might not be in the right mental spot.
Yeah, he's not because he's worried about an 86-year-old man and what his opinions are.
Yeah.
Shut up, Ryan. Just dumb. So go celebrate with your team. You just got a big-time program. One of the biggest wins in your tenure because you can't do shit with sorry, I did it again. Dang nabbit. You can't do anything, okay, against anybody decent. Okay? So stop. You're gonna lose to Penn State, so take another L.
Man, the Ohio State fans are gonna hate you after this one, man.
No, it's called.
Let's see if they make it this far.
I didn't say anything wrong about their team. I said their coach was born on third base and complains too much. Stop it. Stop. They have a problem, they can come see me. Okay. After they tell people to subscribe to the channel, guys. 61 subs.
Oh, yeah.
We're up to 61 subs. Road to 100. We're 39 away. Love the viewership, guys. This is like a pregame
really appreciate it.
Yeah. Keep the viewership going, guys. It's awesome to see. Liking the videos are also awesome. And again, if you know people, if you send the link out and they subscribe, it's awesome. We have some rebranding news coming up soon. It's almost there. And I think it's really going to help out the viewership and the subscriptions. Hopefully it does. But, we can't do that without you guys spreading the word and letting everyone know that, hey, you guys want to listen to good college football talk? We are here. We're
here to change the world.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. So we are going to finish it out with winners and losers of the week.
Yep.
I'm just going to say my two winners are Oregon and Brock Bowers.
Okay.
Oregon, you hear all the talk all week. Colorado. Dan Lanning goes on ESPN Friday evening, and his first 6-7 questions are about Colorado. About, what does he think about, and then they finally asked him about, what's your game plan against him? Oh, thanks for asking me now.
Yeah.
And then they come out and just completely torch Colorado. Dominate. Just shows them, listen, you are messing with the wrong people. So, and then Brock Bowers, who, Brock Bowers is awesome. He's the best overall player in the country as far as quarterbacks go. Best positional player in the country. I think it's not even close. And, he had been good this year, but he hadn't had a breakout game yet. And he comes out in a game against UAB where I think the offense was really good. Really came out well. 9 catches Brock Bowers has on 9 targets. 121 yards and 2 touchdowns for the junior tight end. It's just you can't stop him. You can't stop him. And so those are my winners of the week.
Oh, those are good winners. I had similar but different. So I had Dan Lanning specifically as my first winner of the week. Similar reasons you said right there. He shut up a lot of people, and he made a lot of haters this weekend. And I think it's if you get people who hate you, I think you're either doing something horrible or you're doing something amazing. I think Dan Lanning is doing something amazing. I mean, he's coaching a top 10 team that looks incredible. They looked absolutely amazing. And my second winner of the week was Washington's team, the whole team. They right now to me, they look like the best team in the Pac-12. I mean, I think we can have our conversations about what I think they look like the best team in the Pac-12 personally. So I would put them as my second winner of the week.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
Just give me 1 second.
Thank you.
All right. My losers of the week. Iowa. Oh, gross.
Yeah, no, that's a good pick.
Gross. You can't go and get 31-0 and out have more yards in punting the ball than you do in total offense.
Yeah.
Just can't have it. You got to at least get some points on the board. And, Iowa usually is a team that, these bigger games, like always kind of comes ready to play, keeps it close enough, and then kind of
Mhm.
maybe loses at the end. But just start to finish. I mean, there was 2 muffed punts. It was just bad,
Mhm.
bad. And then Ryan Day.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I've already gone through my spiel. Shut up, Ryan. Just us against Ohio. What a bunch of crap.
Ohio fans always say that too, and I never
And then Ohio
understand
State
it.
fans are the worst in the world too.
I never understand when people from Ohio or Ohio State fans in general go
Ohio
Ohio
State
versus
and
the world.
Tennessee
Like, what?
fans. Day it's us against Ohio. Okay, spent months, spent every day after that Chick-fil-A game complaining that was targeting. It
Yeah.
wasn't targeting. Okay, shut up. Okay, the ADs going to Congress and talking about we would have won a national championship if it was called. Shut up. Okay, your entire fan base is surrounded by crying because you can't beat a team
Yeah.
called Michigan, and then you can't show up when it matters the most. How many
Mhm.
national titles does Ryan Day have? It tells you, answer, it's on midfield in Columbus. It's a big 0. It's just big old 0. So win a game, Ryan, that matters. There's my losers of the week.
All right. So my losers of the week with number 1, I had Dabo Sweeney. Dabo.
Nice. Yes.
I think some people would say he had a winning week because they kept it close with the team that I think almost everybody agrees was better than them. But I had them as a loser because I recently found out their offensive coordinator was not calling plays. Dabo Sweeney was calling the offensive plays in the fourth quarter.
He said, Garrett, you're we're gonna have to go a different direction.
Yeah, he did that, and then he proceeds to give his quarterback an option.
Yes.
On
'Cause
3rd
that
and
makes
1.
sense. That makes sense.
And guess what? His inexperienced
They told
sophomore quarterback goes, let's throw the ball.
They said, Garrett, why don't you just hit the showers early?
He goes, hey, Garrett, check this out. I'm going to win this game in overtime.
They sent Garrett Riley to the press box up there with the assistants.
Yeah. Check this out. That's and then my second loser was Marcus Freeman.
But he's so good looking.
What
Sam
a
Hartman.
way.
Sorry,
You're good.
I have
You're
to
good.
say this. Sam Hartman, if he threw on a white gown, my God, he would have looked like Jesus out there. Oh man, is his hair looking good? He is.
Yeah.
Very good looking guy. I mean, if he had a gown on, he throw him up there, touchdown, Jesus. He looks like a twin.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
That is what you're saying because I had to say.
That 1 yard.
Oh yeah.
You can't even take him seriously after he goes, we didn't do it because we were scared of getting a penalty.
Oh, Marcus, that's
Oh
just
my
being a
God,
big
Marcus.
old baby.
Marcus, you can't lose yards at the 1 yard line. Come on, man. It's just like he could have just easily said, we were unaware. We thought we had 11. We were wrong. We had 10. Then everybody goes, you made a mistake, but you know what?
But it's a mistake you
It
can't
happens.
make in
Yeah.
general. That's supposed to have 11 players on the field. It's different maybe if there was 12. Okay.
Here's the thing. I would say if there was confusion on the sidelines between what goal line stance we were going with. One guy didn't realize he was supposed to be out there. I can go, okay, I understand that confusion. That sucks. But you know what? You move on. When you go, we wanted to send somebody out there, but we were scared to get a penalty.
There's 3 seconds left. Who cares? You can't go any farther up on the air. They can't.
It's not like the refs are going to be like touchdown Ohio State. They were offsides.
It's not like 5. It's not like or offsides on the defense. Touchdown Ohio State. Like, yeah, exactly. They're not going to get that. There was a video of, I think it was like a defender right before the play started, like telling like, hey, we need another guy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they did send one out.
Yeah.
So,
fools. Absolute fools.
Fools.
But those were my losers. I really liked your losers. Those were some good picks.
They were great picks. Shout out to all of Ohio.
Oh my gosh, they're gonna hate you.
Yeah.
We got Ohio fans who watch us. They're gonna hate you after this.
I'm gonna find the nearest old Ohio State fan and tell them it's always been USA versus the world. Like, okay. Anyway, what an action-packed episode we had here on this Week 4 recap.
Yes.
An electrifying night of just great talk and a Ryan Day rant. So remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Remember, we are on a road to 100 subscribers. 61 subscribers are the count. We need to put a tracker on the top.
Yeah.
61 subs. And make sure you guys are subscribing. Keep up the viewership. We love seeing that the views are up.
Yeah.
And if I look at the just total stats of everything, watch time's up too, which is awesome.
I would love to see that. That's awesome.
That's what we love to see. It's one thing to view it, but if you guys are watching it, that's what really is awesome to see. So keep up that. And again, if you know people that are watching and aren't subscribed, tell them, listen, don't be a Ryan Day. It's always been Hunter and Dylan against YouTube. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So, don't be a Ryan Day and just, subscribe. Subscribe. Do the right thing.
Yeah.
And also you find us on Spotify as well. So remember, we have our rebranding coming on. We're almost done with that. So that'll be out soon.
Yeah.
And Thursday's episode will be out it'll be out Thursday evening, as it always is. That will be our Week 5 preview.
Yep.
So also Best Bets will be on there as well. So make sure you guys are keeping an eye on that. Dylan, any final thoughts before we end this?
I'm excited for tomorrow's recap.
I forgot today's Wednesday, because it is now past midnight.
Yeah, and when people see this, it'll be Wednesday too.
Yeah,
so I try to be as exciting as possible. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But I'm excited to talk about the recap tomorrow, and I am excited to see what other shenanigans Ryan Day can do to get you to freak out like that. Well, that's my excitement.
Yeah, listen, I love to get excited on this. This is what we love to do. This is pure content.
Yeah,
there's no sugarcoating here. This is what you see is what you get.
Yeah,
and that's what happened. Never been a fan of Just for Men, and as Ryan Day is the spokesperson and leading advocate of it, he needs to dye that beard a little darker. Maybe that'll get a good win and not lose again. So, I'm not talking about Ryan Day. He's making me tired. And
I can tell.
He's making me tired. Yeah. So Thursday episode will be out Thursday evening. And be ready for Week 5 preview.
All right.
This is episode 36. Peace out.
See you guys.